this 3-part series, we're going to take a look at how to wash, condition, and style natural hair in depth. In the first video, we discussed everything that has to do with how to cleanse and wash your natural hair. Part 2 was all about how to condition natural hair. We talked about the roll-up conditioners, how to get the most out of your conditioners, hydro fatigue, porosity, product application. So you don't want to miss the first 2 parts of this series, but today is all about styling. We're going to go over top of gel application, how to get more hang time out of your wash and go, best techniques for tight curls, air drying versus hooded dryers, how to maintain your wash and go, and cutting your hair wet versus dry. I hope you're ready.
We've locked in all the moisture with the first product, and we've let it marinate for about 10 minutes or so, and with the cap on her head. So in this time, she would have been like showering or maybe cleaning up the bathroom from detangled hair or something. But some time needs to pass as it marinates on the hair, and then we follow up with the second product. So the second product I'm using is the Inner Sense I Create Hold. Another thing you can use in place of this is the TGIN Curl Balm. It's hard to find something as good of a hold as this, but I am on the hunt. I like that one. Another one is the Anti-Curly Custard, but my favorite is this one. I'm not gonna lie to you. So
And that's actually one of the questions I had, like an alternative for someone who's allergic.
Allergic to this. The Giovanni LA gel is pretty good for people who are allergic to this. It has a similar hold, and you can get it at Whole Foods. A lot of my virtual clients who are outside of the U.S. also are able to find it pretty easily too. So if you're outside the U.S., see if you can find that. I like to keep the sections I'm not working on yet covered. Just to allow it to continue marinating in there. I'm going to go in with 2 pumps of this big bottle, which is about 4 pumps of the normal size. 1, 2, and that's going to be per quadrant.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
How much were you using? No.
This video's not about me.
It's so funny I'm about to style all these parts when you're going to make me cut them off.
Oh, that's true.
Oh well, it's for the culture, I guess. And then after I applied that, I'm gonna put just a little bit, just a tiny bit of the Trepadora papaya slip. I like to use this as like the anti-humidity product on top. So
when would you need to use a product like this?
So let's say you live in a humid climate. This can help as a barrier from the too much moisture in the air getting into the hair. Or let's say you're going on vacation, you need a little bit of extra hold. People who want the wash and go to last the whole 7 days, this is helpful. I'm one of those people who does my hair like every 4 or 5 days because I'm working out, and it just works better for me like that. But so I don't really have to use something like this because I'm not doing my hair only once a week.
But right now, it's cold outside.
It is cold outside, but if you Google it right now, Toronto still has... The humidity is not about the temperature. Yeah, it's about the water concentration in the air. So if you Google it right now, the concentration of water in the air is high, even though the temperature is not.
Interesting.
Warm.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Science.
So the way I know how much to use this, I just like cup my hand like this, and then I just fill the tiny hole. So you really don't need a lot of this. It is a pricier product, so like you don't want to like waste it. And really, it's more so of a jacket than anything. You don't have to like apply it the same way we were applying the other products. It just goes on top on the outside. Yeah, so just a little bit goes a long way, and I use it often, and I haven't had to replace that bottle in a long time. So it is worth an investment if like someone's watching and they were wondering that. Something that I've seen be another good anti-humectant is the Dew Pop Lock, which is at Target. I'm still on the hunt for other things. The Weed Egg Climate Control, I don't think it has enough hold, but it's supposedly supposed to do that.
I guess the best thing you can do is just talk about how you're styling, your method of going about it.
Okay.
'Cause I have a lot of styling questions. Some of them is around how do you get the hair to behave and look its best? And I'm putting quotation mark around best because what does best mean?
What does that mean? Yeah.
And there's some questions around more hang time, more separation, your favorite products, basically a lot of styling, general styling question. How can you get more hang time and separation after your hair is dry?
Oh, after your hair is dry. Oh, okay. I think this person is referring to like maybe the like when people band their hair or stretch it.
No, I think it's a wash and go. Like sometimes, depending on how I think you set your hair, it may not hang, or you can get a lot of shrinkage back.
Oh, okay. Like
I think that's what it is.
Before you dry it.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, that's a great question because I just applied products to her hair, and now I'm going to use like a brush to like go through it just to make sure it's as smooth as possible. So that can help with more hang time, like more elongation of it. Is just making sure that you have like re-smooth out the hair before you actually start doing any like raking or smoothing and separating. So you can try that. But really, hair, even after you set in the dryer, is going to shrink a little bit. So I don't want to give any unrealistic expectations that like you're going to have all this hang time if that's not the length of your hair. And so instead of focusing on that, I would say monitor how much product versus water you're using. So if you're doing your hair and you notice that like it's not hanging, like it's not staying put when you've brushed it out or smoothed it out, and it's more so shrinking up immediately, you may not have put enough products on your hair. If you're doing it, you've put the products on it, you're working through it, and it's still not getting that hang time, then it's probably needing more water. And when I say water, I don't mean water from a spray bottle. It's better to like cup water in your hand under the dryer, and I mean not the dryer, the faucet water, and like put it on your hair instead of a spray bottle. Usually spray bottles give like droplets of water, whereas you want actual saturation. So that's why sometimes I do like to put my topper on in the shower because I can just dip
Dump
it
your hair.
in. Yeah,
Okay.
that's more useful with these kind of products than using a spray bottle.
Oh, that's good to know.
So, yeah.
In terms of methods, which I feel like you're getting right into, smoothing, raking, finger coils. What do?
It's a lot.
Please elaborate. Help a sister out, especially if you have shorter hair and you want to go through this quickly.
Okay. So after you've applied your product, you've got it all in there, you want to go ahead and start to separate the curls. So right now the curls are there. They're just going to all bunch together. And so what you could do is take out a section. You don't really have to use a clip. You can use a finger to take it out. You're going to smooth it in. And then for you, since like you'll be doing your own hair, you may have to use like a different hand for this. But typically for tighter curls, I like to smooth the hair till I'm starting to kind of see the curl pattern pop up already. I'm going to move this a little closer so you guys can see. So we can see the curls starting to form. Basically, I smooth till like I can easily see where the hair is trying to come apart. So here I can see this is like separating on its own, and I'm just kind of helping it out. So we're smoothing, and then like we're separating. So smoothing and separating basically. So a faster way to do that is to just smooth and then like create your own separation by putting a finger through and smoothing it down. So for example, you would take a row, you will smooth it in. And look how it's become like a foam. Everyone always asks me what mousse am I using, but I'm never really using mousse. It's really just when you allow the base to marinate well and you apply your topper, it creates like a foamy consistency. But these are 2 gels that are on her hair. And then like a little bit of the anti-humidity topper. Yeah. So you're going to smooth. So that's one technique, smoothing and separating. Another technique is to smooth and then like put your fingers through and rake. So that's another technique, but typically I like to smooth and separate for tighter curls because you're able to, why do I like it? Let me think of it. I think on yourself it's easier to smooth and separate.
Yeah.
But when someone else is doing your hair, they can probably like break and it's fine.
Because that's another thing too, having like both hands like you have to go through versus me, you know, it's a different angle, it's a different way of positioning my hands. And I think that kind of matters.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think with separating it yourself too, you're able to get the actual size clump that you want, because sometimes when you rake, the clumps are too big.
The products that you use now, would you say those are your favorite combination of products to use?
Yes, but also because I'm kind of more carefree about my hair than a lot of people, because I don't care if it lasts 7 days or not. So my actual favorite combination is the Dew Blue Stuff and the Weed Climate Control on top of it. So the reason I like it is because it allows me to air dry in my climate. I live in Florida. It's hot. You can walk outside and feel like you're standing in a hooded dryer. Yeah. So like I'm able to do that and it's fine. And sometimes I'm just so busy that I do need to air dry, even though I don't really recommend air drying. But if you had to, usually mousse needs to be involved in some way. I feel like this product combination wouldn't air dry well because it's 2 gels.
So what is the rationale behind air drying versus a hooded dryer?
So it's all about longevity. So anytime you air dry, you can expect it to not last as long. And most people want to only do their hair once a week, or like even hopefully get a few extra days out of it and push it maybe 10 days. But it's hard to do that if the hair didn't set properly under heat. It's kind of like think of a wash and go kind of like a roller set or something. You wouldn't air dry a roller set, I hope.
No.
Like, I don't know what the streets are saying about how to make a roller set good, but like it's just not. You're taking the hair from wet to dry so that it can stay looking in like how you styled it. Okay. So if you air dried it, you're giving it too much time to like lose its definition. And you
would get less hang time as well too, right?
Exactly.
I feel like we like that.
And you would probably have to do more detailed detangling on the next wash day if you air dry, because it doesn't keep the hair as stretched. So right now the hair is out down here and we're going to dry it that way. So on the next time you need to wash your hair, there's no need to pre-glue. You can go straight to the shower and like do that. But if you air dried, it would be a little bit harder to do that, because the hair would have had too much time to not be in its elongated state. And so I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I think that did. This one's around maintaining. So let's say after you dry your hair, what is the best way to maintain short hair, especially in keeping the curl pattern until the next wash day?
Okay, I also want to emphasize that longevity is about how well you've been taking care of your hair. So if you're someone who is now starting out with this, longevity shouldn't be your priority, I would say, because you want the hair to be drinking water more often. So I know that's kind of a hard pill to swallow sometimes, because you just did all this work and then you have to do it again. The reason I really like Jen's content is because she doesn't stress too much about her hair. Like, many times I've watched her story and she's like, yeah, I just went to bed. I didn't put a bonnet on or anything.
It's like, you know,
I want people to have more of that kind of like
carefree
it's
attitude.
Not that deep attitude about it. And so longevity is nice. Yes, I completely agree. And a way to do that is to make sure, like, yes, you are wrapping your hair at night and using product versus water ratios that make sense for your climate. So for instance, somebody who is not getting a lot of longevity that lives in a humid climate may have used too much water, or somebody who is not getting longevity in a dry climate is they didn't use enough water. And so there are many things that can be causing it, but usually it's because your hair is probably dehydrated and it's not there yet to a point where it can hold water for a long time. The more your hair is able to hold water for a long time, which means it's hydrated, the more days you're gonna get. So my first wash and goes on myself lasted maybe like 3 days, and then now I can go, the longest I've gone is like 12 days and it still looks great.
So it gets better with time.
Yeah, it does get better with time and consistency. But mind you, I'm someone who's talking as someone who's only done a wash and go for the past like 2.5 years now. So my hair is not going to do the same thing as someone's hair who like maybe switches it up often. And that's not to say don't switch it up. Please switch it up. Like have fun with your hair. But for people who want to adopt this as a lifestyle, you'll see more longevity the longer that you're consistent, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So longevity changes over time. Your longevity now is not your longevity later.
So you get your hair to behave and look its best, which is one of the questions that I got. The more you do this, the more hydrated your hair gets, and the better you get at setting your hair as well.
Right. And also, your hair will just start to do it without you having to do any of this. Like, for me, let me show y'all what my hair looks like. So, this is my tight curl. Thank you. We're on day 4, and it looks great. But the reason it looks like this on a day 4, and it is going to go for the rest of the week. And also, this wash and go didn't take me long to do. Like, from beginning to end of cleansing, conditioning, and styling took maybe 20 minutes.
Excuse me?
Because because this is all my hair has done for almost 3 years now. So the hair just does, like, I don't have to go through and rake in small sections like this because the hair is already doing it. But it wasn't doing that, of course, when I started. So that's something to look forward to when, like, because right when I put the products on my hair, it's already
looking kind of like
I technically could shake and go if my hair was long enough to shake, but it's not. So.
But would you say, realistically speaking, I got a question about this too, is the wash hour feasible for longer hair?
No, most of my long hair clients are at least doing 2 hours, sometimes 2.5. That includes drying though. So don't feel pressure to fit your whole wash day in an hour. I want you to like enjoy it and like just think of it as pampering
it was
yourself.
the same for me where I had that expectation that it had to be an hour, and I was stressing myself out. I started hating doing my hair because I'm like, why am I still doing this? It should be an hour. So having that expectation can ruin your wash day.
Yeah, it makes it not fun anymore. This was supposed to be fun, you know? So we wanted to do less steps, and the reason we're able to do less steps is because we're doing our hair like every week. It's harder to have a shorter wash day if you stretch it out too much. Yeah. But yeah, don't feel bad if it's taking longer than an hour. That is totally okay. I would say if it's taking 4 hours, let's chat and get to the bottom of what's taking so long. Usually people's problems are detangling, and so invest in a better detangling tool and get it trimmed. Usually that will do it. And make sure you're using a conditioner that when you add water, it increases the slope of it. Always, start at the ends.
Can someone with dense natural hair wash without sectioning first? If so, what is the best way to avoid tangles? Like that was, I should have asked this when we were washing, but I forgot.
So if you're doing styles that don't need to like be pre-pooed or detangled first before, there shouldn't really be a need to section. I think people section out of fear usually that it is going to tangle up, but it just depends on like what happened on the last wash day, whether you detangled it well. Let me think of a more detailed answer while you're under the dryer. But
I would say, take it from someone who's not a professional. More frequently you do your hair, the easier it is to detangle. Yeah, that's what I've noticed with my hair.
And Jen's hair is pretty dense. Like, it's short, but it's dense. So if anyone's hair was gonna bunch back up, it would be yours. And so if you're able to do it, like, that's just a testimony that it's possible to bunch your hair without having a bunch of sections. Yeah. And if you must section, that's okay, but I don't think more than 4 sections is necessary. I think people are doing like 6 sections, sometimes 8, and it's just making your wash day longer than it needs to be. Okay. But use products that that rinse out easily. That can also help you pre-detangle while you're just rinsing out your hair, like before you even shampoo it. If you use products that will accept that water that you're putting on your hair. So all these humectants and the products still make a difference on like your wash day, like your next wash day, so that you don't have to feel like you need sections to make it not tangle back up. It shouldn't be tangling if your products interact well with water. How do you normally part it if you were to part it?
I would do it to the side like this.
Okay.
Either that or just let it all be
Just
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like with the cut, you're going to shake it for real. Like, not side to side, but like you're saying no. Yeah, like yeah, like that. Perfect. So we'll just let it fall where it wants to.
Okay.
And then we'll let it dry. So we're drying with heat for longevity to allow, like, you don't want her walking around with her hair looking white like this for the whole day. So honestly, get a hooded dryer. A good one is the Conair on Amazon. It's white. It's pretty. It's the only one that will come with, basically. So that should be pretty easy. The Hot Tools is another good brand that you can get. I think at Sally's. You don't have to get a Salon hooded dryer. Like the normal ones at home work just fine. So as long as it's not cone shaped, you want something round like this, not something that like is almost triangular looking. Those usually suck the air up, and we need air to like blow down. So the shape of your hooded dryer does matter.
So you could take some of the top off. Like
the color traumatized you a little bit.
No, I just feel like I don't like the little little bits that are left. But the color did not traumatize me. I quite enjoyed it. Actually, that was one of the questions I think someone asked. Did I destroy my hair?
Destroy is such a strong word. So the decision came about just because you wanted to change.
Yeah. That's how I make all of my hair decisions. In the moment.
Alright, so don't say I got scissor happy. Jen wants something dramatic, and she wants to have low sides and perimeter and have some nice volume at the top. So don't come at me in the comments. Thank you.
This is what Jen wants.
So I know sometimes during your wash and go, you like to like twirl it a bit. Do you still do that, or not so much lately?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I found that I do it if I really, if I want the definition, but it takes longer.
It does.
So, is it better to cut your hair dry or wet?
I would say dry if like you have tight curls like yours. I think you can do like a dry rough. Okay, this is for professionals, but like dry. A rough draft of the cut you're about to do, like if it's something dramatic like this during the wet stage. But I think if somebody just wants to trim, they're trying to grow out their hair, etc., it's better to just do it
when it's dry.
When it's dry, yeah, because that's when you'll be able to see where the ends are. So usually you can see where the ends are like dusty looking and not curling. It's much more obvious when it's dry than when it's
interesting. I guess if you're also wearing your hair like this a lot, then you want to do it while it's in the shade. Do you find it easier as a stylist to take care of our hair this way with, say, washing, conditioning, styling versus what we used to do before?
Yes, I do think it's easier. I also think it's easier for people who are like simple people. I think it's a hard lifestyle to adapt to if you like to switch up your hair often. But there's also, I also believe in the like blow dry and cut lifestyle for people who don't really care too much about shape. I think they should just get their hair cut in that way, and not to feel pressure to get a curly cut just because they see a lot of it. I think people who don't necessarily wear their hair out, like either in a wash and go, twist out, braid out, etc., and they mostly just know that this is not really what they want to do. They should stick to getting it cut in its blow dry state. If they don't ever really wear it flat ironed, I think getting it cut blow dried is better than like flat ironing it and cutting it, just so you don't risk the like heat damage that can come with it. Yeah, so don't feel like this is the only way to have healthy hair. This is really for a special type of person who wants a simple hair routine, wants to only need to get a cut like a couple of times a year, and once a quarter, and then
Oh, that's what you recommend for trimming?
yeah, so that's about 3 or 4 trims in the year. For somebody who's like trying to grow it out. For me, somebody who's in a permanent taper cut, a better schedule for me would be like every 2.5 months, because it's gonna start growing out of that shape. So for people who are sticking to a specific shape, I think they should get a cut a bit more often.
What about for people that are in areas that either don't have readily available water, like we do here as in like North America, or I guess Europe, or don't have power 24/7? Like, what would you recommend for people that are in that criteria?
So if they don't have power, they probably can't have a hooded dryer to power one. So they would have to do product combinations that would air dry relatively quickly, which is using a mousse and some kind of gel on top. It would have to be a gel that isn't too sticky like Uncle Funky, something that provides enough hold that can air dry. So the more hydrated your hair is, the more you can enjoy air drying. Air drying is not fun because, again, like you don't get the longevity that you want. But if it is something you have to do, I would recommend getting something that is a strong hold mousse like the Dew, and then putting on top of it something like that Weed at Climate Control. That can air dry pretty well. Also, if you don't have access to, let's say you live in a very hot climate. Let's say you're in Ghana, you're in Nigeria, something like that, where stepping outside is equivalent of sitting under the hooded dryer, and you don't have access to like the hooded dryer, etc. That combination can also be helpful. But again, air drying works better if your hair is hydrated because it won't take as long to dry. The hair has a good relationship with water and just like knows how to act basically. And so, yes, even though you wouldn't have the longevity, you can still look great and know that. You like it more just out like that, or more like a side?
No, more out like that.
Okay.
You're gonna cut yours too?
I can't do it on myself because I'm scared of it. I think
Cutting your hair yourself is a whole different thing. That's what I did, and I was like, I need to come see somebody. The front's fine, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get to like the very middle, like
You're actually quite brave, honestly.
I guess
That's why I was wondering, were you going through something when you did it?
No, I was happy. I was happy to be married. In case anybody's wondering, I'm in La La Land.
Aww.
It's crazy how a haircut will change your whole face.
My whole personality too. It's like, excuse me, hello. Alright, so for that part, I think the Dyson helps to like
to make
give
it
it
higher,
more
give it some more volume.
Now that I've cleaned up that jack part, I'll have you look at it again. So, take stuff off.
Yes, it's all filled in. Perfect. Yay! Ah, I love it.
Love it. Yay! I love it too.
You love it too. Don't go copying my style, girl.
Literally, I'm about to be your twin.
Thank
it looks
you.
really good.
Oh, it looks good. I love
so
the
good.
shape. I know you see it.
Yeah. Girl. Yes.
Who am I?
Who is she? I don't even recognize her.
I don't
She's
either, but I love it.
Yes.
Thank
Let's
you.
get on that side profile.
It's the
because, I mean, Wow. It's giving.
Listen, I give you permission to get yourself a nice little cut, okay?
Yes.
A shape. I give you permission.
Thank you for letting me be an artist and doing what I do. I had so much fun.
Well,
and I hope you
thank
guys learned
you.
something today in this video.
Yes, thank you for answering all of the questions that they
Yes.
sent in. I appreciate it.
And if there was anything I didn't answer well, feel free to slide in my DMs. I'll do my best to rephrase what I said. So
And
it
she
makes
does
more
answer.
sense.
I will put your Instagram handle right here.
Yes.
Anything else you want to tell the people?
Yeah, stay encouraged. Like, don't give up on like your first wash and go because it only reflects where your hair is at the moment. So stay consistent. Give it at least 3 months. I know that sounds like a long time, but
It's only like
consistency.
12 wash and goes.
It's really, yeah, like
once a week. It's not that bad.
it's really not that bad. And try your best to invest in quality products. I know they're expensive. I'm not even gonna lie to you,
But they last you a while.
they really do.
I got the big thing of Uncle Funky and it lasted me a year.
Yeah, I completely believe
Yeah.
that because
And I was doing my hair every week.
every
basically.
week. Yeah, so if I'm able to use the same bottle on like so many clients and it not go out, you can use one bottle for a really long time.
Yeah.
So,
At first it feels like a lot because it's like, I think it cost me 60 Canadian, but
Mhm.
that lasted a year. So if you break it down, it's not that bad.
if you break it down, it's really the best investment. So,
Yeah.
and try your best to partner with a curl specialist if you can. If there's not any in your area, don't you worry.
Watch
We're
my
all doing our
videos.
best.
I got you,
Yes,
girl.
exactly.
Yeah.
And if you absolutely can't get someone to like shape your hair in this curly state, that's okay. Just go to a normal natural hair salon, get a blow dry and trim. There's nothing wrong with that as well. So as long as you're keeping your ends healthy, you're gonna retain the length that you want.
Yeah.
And also just be like Jen. Length is not everything. You know, you want to walk in the room and have everyone be like, "Oh,
Confidence
wow.
is everything.
Exactly. How you
If
carry
anything,
yourself.
yeah.
I think as a culture we're so obsessed with length, but if you walk in a room, you feel confident, you look in the mirror and you're like, yes, I'm that girl. Then it doesn't
that's
matter
it,
how long
period.
your hair is.
If nobody else can say anything after that, period.
Exactly.
So
have
yeah,
fun with your
personally,
hair.
I like changing it up through
Mhm.
either styling, cutting, coloring,
Color,
I guess.
Yeah,
But you know, I get it that if that's not everyone's cup of tea, but just
absolutely.
whatever you decide to do with your hair, however you decide to wear it with confidence
Exactly.
Yeah.
As long as it's making you happy, do it. So,
inside.
thanks for joining us today. I am honored to have shared this platform with you.
Oh, thank you for coming. And I'm mad that you're going back to Jacksonville,
Yes.
Florida.
Yes. Don't be mad at me, guys.
It's okay.
But
It's okay.
I think I'm gonna do 2 Toronto trips a year. Next one will be Montreal. So if you're
Oh,
anywhere in
nice.
that
That's
area,
closer to
Yeah.
me, so that's even better. And then you gotta come to Ottawa. I'm just
Yeah.
squeezing it in.
The pressure. Okay.
Thank you so
thanks,
much for
guys.
watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.